Welcome back to the channel. This is Let's Be Real Brad. I give in-depth analytical reviews on movies, TV shows, and all sorts of other fun and exciting videos. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the newest big film to hit theaters this weekend, Mortal Kombat. This is the third feature film of this franchise, with the first film I have already reviewed on the channel, and the second movie will be coming very soon. It is based on the mega smash hit franchise of the same name. Going into this film, I was so highly pumped as I had gone ahead to catch up on my Mortal Kombat lore, watching the two films, buying and playing Mortal Kombat 11, and reading everything I could about the characters to be a super mega fan of the franchise. So when I saw the film, I enjoyed it and had such a great time with it. Still, when I talked to my awesome film buddy Devin about it, he made a tremendous point about how if you went to this film not knowing anything about the game or the two films, you would feel altogether lost and kind of bored because the film hardly has no character development, with random characters you don't even know who they are, and then just becomes a complete mess. This film should have made the fans go crazy while also creating new fans along the way by giving us proper backstories and introductions to these characters, but the film decides for us to rely on our prior knowledge of these games to fill in those holes. Okay, so before I dive into the negatives, let's head into the positives, starting with the visual effects. I found the visual effects to be awe-inspiring and simply incredible. The bad special effects are shared in those two previous 90s films that all Mortal Kombat fans know. So it's super awesome to see this film being able to use significantly higher budget with better technology to capitalize on the super realistic and fantastic visual effects. It literally looked like the game as it was pretty much accurate as possible, leading to my following compliment being extremely faithful to the games. This is something that has been significantly lacking in those previous two films, so it was super great to see Simon McQuaid and his feature film debut being able to have this movie being as accurate to the games as possible, which shows he respects the fans and the lore this franchise has. All the action sequences, production design, costumes, and abilities were all so accurate that it made it feel like I was seeing all these characters come to life from the console to the big screen. This movie is also tons of fun. The action sequences are delightful for the most part, which is why a good chunk of this movie works so well. It is incredibly violent, gory, and just pure insanity. I was pretty shocked and happy with all the creative, bloody kills they could come up with. I also really enjoyed the music, which was influential in the action sequences. It didn't do anything all that special, but the track that was able to remix the original's movie theme with this new one was just perfect for those fans or people who have watched the original film. I thought it was used in one of the film's best scenes, which seemed very appropriate. I found all the acting to be pretty good, genuinely feeling like these are all the authentic characters in real life. They were very believable and added a solid presence for each one of these characters. I also enjoyed that these characters are lesser known actors, which is excellent. This looks like The Godfather compared to the other two films in the acting department. Let's dive right into the handful of negatives with the film, which is the writing. The writing is wholly scrambled with its execution of the story, characters, and the film's flow. I found the story to be not very interesting and a big letdown, considering it felt like it didn't matter at all with this film. It felt very lazily executed, which is a big bummer because I really enjoyed how the story unfolded as the film progressed. I also found that the film has way too many characters all stuffed into this one basket. No one gets any sort of character development and feels so forced to be in the film. Another reason is that they were probably going to make a sequel if this first film was successful, so they had to go all out on this film, and then the sequel can have room to breathe. I also didn't like the film's flow, which was very inconsistent all the way through, being extremely interesting with great jokes and dialogue, but then the next 10 minutes have forced, boring character dialogue that made me roll my eyes throughout. The film also got incredibly dull pretty quickly, mainly because we don't know anything about these characters, so the only reason we like them is just to see them fight. So when they aren't doing that, the film just slugs its way along and kept me very uninterested. My last complaint is the editing and directing. I found both these aspects to be relatively weak. I will give some credit to being McQuaid's first film ever handling a Mortal Kombat film, which must have been very difficult, but it does feel like a lot of shots could have been easily changed and presented in a much better way. I found that it lacked any creativity or passion from this director, like it was a studio-made film, which is what it is. The editing is found to be pretty distracting throughout, especially during the action sequences. There are times where there's too many edits, so it just looks fake while fighting, which we don't really need when your film is based on fighting and action. It isn't horrible by any means, but it's just very mediocre directing. Overall, if you are a big fan of this game, you are going to really love this movie so much. Probably going to be one of your best video game movies ever. But unfortunately, if you don't know much about the lore, you will be very confused and not really enjoy it as much as everyone else's, which is kind of disappointing. I think you can determine if you want to check this movie out. I am giving the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie a 5 out of 10. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the following video.